Wow, geithika muno mwireri wa Kikuyu Diaspora Television ndaiga ona itabite guthie mucii nyambe nyingire gukunjokie ngatho ni tondu wa andu aria othe marekinyire thiini wa kigoco gitu kia Birmingham City season 2 andu othe marumite mwena wa Atlanta matongoretio ni Jemima Wachira, Tabi Ndegwa, mundu wetagwo Sonko Lucy, thengio muno ngai amurathime na aria othe marumite Atlanta. Ngai witu amwike maundu mega na thii na mbere na kumwararamia ona ni tondu wa kurehe nginya Charles King'ori guku Birmingham. Ucio ni wendo munene muno, ngai athie na mbere na kumwika maundu mega. Kurari kwega we utanahota guka, ngai akurathime ni tondu ni uramisire na hindu ingi ni ngwenda ndukanageria gutira nigetha ukaga rimu at least ukeririvaga mawira ma tukoragwo namo tukagia na kanya ga gucokeria ngai witu ngatho. We utanahota guka na we urenda guka rekio nawe ngai witu agwike maundu mega ndiramenya ngai no ari hingura ihinda ringi ni tondu giki we are not stopping, we have to keep going ni tondu niguo mwathani atwite tugekaga tukanyitanira rimwe na ringi tukagoca ngai ni tondu wa mawiko maria mothe maitu atwikire kuma kuria turutite nginya ha tukinyite. Thengi muno na ngai witu amwike maundu mega icio ngatho ndingirikia gucokia ni tondu ni nyingi muno kuma andu akuraihu aria maranyandikira message makaja no nyende ukano ndinahota ukani tondu wa wira ni tondu wa kindu kingi kana ni tondu wa undu ungi no ndiraiga atiriri horo irari full packed ni murarugamirwo wega muno ni andu ngai witu amurathime na mwike maundu mega sana. Otherwise ona itane manego ndagwikiri rugano rwe harwa madamu umwe weho wetagwo Apostle Elizabeth. Uyu ni umwe wa aria manathie kwa ngai na magathie kwa ngoma na makionera maundu maingi muno maria metagwo ma kiriga. Kugo ni ngwenda wikare nigetha thikirigona rwake nigetha wigue uria we mwenyewe anacemania nginya na ngoma akamurania kumuhe wira amurutire contract ya miaka 10 kuria rikoragwo akimuriha ciringi 50,000 cia Kenya oro muthenya. Ekiri atia na erire ngoma atia na ni ate gwacokire ugithie etagwo Apostle Elizabeth kuma kuria mwena wa Kenya. Ni ngwenda wikare nigetha thikirigona rugano rwake ni rwa githungu arari na githungu. Kugo ni ngwihoka ni ukunyita ni tondu we timu gikuyu no hare twacemania kijania kwari na githungu na gikimwira it is all right andu tu ni mathomete na ni maigua githungu. Kugo ni ngwenda wikare hau uthikiririe maundu maria mothe agereire thiini wa cioneki mangeneri nigetha umenye ati ni kuri maundu maya ni mahanikaga andu no mathi kwa ngai na macoke andu no mathi kwa ngoma na macoke. Sit down no thikiririe rugano rwake jitagwo Jeremy Damaris. Namba yako SMS ni 205 7204397.
Hello Kikuyu Diaspora TV fans, I'm excited today to bring in my testimony. My name is Apostle Elizabeth Saidimo. I just want to share with us some very, very interesting experience I've had with the Lord. Jesus came in my house some 17 years ago as in form of a house girl, and he lived in my house and gave me a lot of training and a lot of teachings that some of them I've never had, and I've never had anyone talk about. So even as I start off to introduce myself, I'm from Heaven Light Ministry. We are in Nairobi, Kenya. So before the Lord came into my house, I was working in a bank, in the banking world. I worked in the bank for 28 years. And then later he asked me to resign and just go on full-time ministry. During the times that the Lord was training me, and when he lived in my house, very strange things started happening. This girl that he had come in form of, as he was now Jesus, he told me to buy some writing material and that he would be giving me messages to share with people. I have a lot of messages that can last even up to 10 years without having to repeat anything. These messages cover from every area of life, say like marriage, leadership, church, all that. And so while he was there, and I remember when he started training me, first I would have demons would come and I would be trained on how to cast them out. So I started now training, but I would be fighting with demons sometimes the whole night, and it went on like that for quite some time. Then one day, as I was still busy with the casting out of demons and understanding how they operate, and I remember one very significant day when the Lord just allowed me to discuss with the devil, and Satan came and he told me, Elizabeth, I want you to serve me. And the Lord allowed this conversation. I said, what would you like me to do for you? He said, I want you to work for me and I'm going to give you a very good pay. I asked him, how much pay are we talking about? He told me that he was going to be paying me 50,000 Kenya shillings per day, which is equivalent to, those are many years back, is equivalent to, by then it was like, I would say like $5,000, no, 50, I'm not able to, but it was good money. He told me that he was going to be paying me that every day. And I told him, Satan, where do I keep this money? Coming from the banking world, I knew very well there's no way you can bank so much money in a given day and then you do that for a week without being asked where the money is coming from. So he told me, this money, you don't take it to the bank. What you do, you just keep it in the house. And then I said, okay, after 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, there's been money all over. He told me, you're the only one who will be seeing this money. No other person will be seeing it. So I said, he said, if you want to buy something, you want to buy a car, you want to buy whatever you want to do, and if people have need, you just take it and give it to them. Put some in your car, in the boot, so that you can always remove and share with people if people have needs. Then I said, okay, I will do that for you. If I am to do that for you, what is your pay? He told me that once I do that, for 10 years, I would go and be with him. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, you die. I said, what? And then I asked him, Satan, I would like to understand. Because, the devil is such a marketer. He's really good. I said, okay, I want to understand. The people, if you can give me people that you have, that are in your payroll, so that I don't get myself in something that is not paying. Because the Lord had allowed this to take place. So he gave me names of people. These are real people, real names, people I know. Because when he's marketing, he doesn't just beat around the bush. So he gave me the names of people I know, and he told me that these people, some of them have been on, and you know them, and there are people who are doing very well then. There are people they were doing very well. Some of them in their places of work just getting promotions maybe twice a year. And that's why we are told we should be very careful and not be very much so interested in following to find out or to be interested in how somebody is getting their money or how they're getting, whichever way they're getting blessed. We should not so much be following to understand where they're doing this, because some of these people are actually serving the devil. And so after that, after we discussed, when he talked about the 10 years, I said no. I said no to that discussion, and of course it ended there, and the Lord came. Sometimes as we are discussing this, he would just tell me, oh, your person has come, or is approaching, when he sees Jesus approaching, and he would take off. So what I would like to encourage everyone, that these things we hear are true. When you hear that the devil talks to people, and there are people who have signed themselves up to follow the devil, it is a true story. These are not imaginary. Because if I had accepted, I would have gone ahead and served him for 10 years. And then so when the Lord came, he said, so what was he telling you today? I told him the story. And then he told me, okay, people give themselves to Satan, they serve him, and after 10 years, they die, and then you people are here crying. So he's talking about us, the way people give themselves to serve the devil, and when they die now, we begin crying, oh, he was such a young man, he only, he's just Yeah, he just got married the other day. Now he has a baby. How can he go? He was doing very well. He was, everybody in the village was just looking at them. And even parents. Parents keep on telling their children, look at so-and-so's son. You went to school together. What happened to you? Look, the things they're able to achieve. See the houses they're building. See the kind of cars they're driving. And you're here. Don't tell your children that. Because you know what? You never know where that person you're trying to push your child to be like is getting their wealth from. So the many times, some of the experiences that I had with the Lord, even as he lived in my house, and he still does. He lives there. I remember one time I was taking an exam, and I went to college. I was reading for an exam because it was to come in the evening, and while in the library, I thought of just calling home to find out whether things were okay. So I came out of the library taking a break, and I called home, spoke to my house girl. I said, I called on the mobile, and she told me, Mom, from the time you called me and told me to wait at the stage, I'm still waiting. So I told her, okay, you stay there, don't go, I'm coming. I want to tell you that the Lord would take my car, drive home when I'm at work, get to the house, give instructions to my children, and tell them clean this place and clean that place. And he'd come and tell me, I've given these instructions, when you go home, go and confirm. So this particular incident, he had called using my phone, called and talked to my house help and told her to be at the stage, that he didn't want to go. And he calls like it's me. And so when I talked to her, I told her to wait at the stage. This is one of the experiences, and I have so many of them. Walking with the Lord is just amazing. So I told her to wait there, that I would be coming. I went back to the library. I didn't call again. I didn't call home. I finished my paper and I went home. And I told her to tell me what happened. She told me that, remember the first time when you called me? I told her, just tell me the whole story. Don't tell me the parts I remember, just tell me the whole story. Because I knew I needed to fit in the gaps where I wasn't. So she went ahead and told me that when the first time you called, you told me to come to the stage, and I went to the stage. Then you called again, and you told me to wait. You came driving, you picked me, we went into the city, and we went to a place called Old Nation House. You told me to wait there, that somebody was coming to bring a message, and that you're going back to college because you had an exam. And so you left. What I want to tell you, friends, is this. Our God is not limited. He is not limited. If He could take my car, I'm holding the keys. I have the keys in my pocket. I have the gate pass with me, the car pass, that no one can use that car. It can't go out without all that. But Jesus was able, and He has done this before, and many times He did it. So she told me that she waited, and I told her to go home. She was told to go home by public means. And then later somebody came, gave her a message, which is handwritten, and that message was meant for someone. She brought it home, and that night she gave it to me. So very many strange things happened and still happen in my house. There are many times, like I remember one time, I was going to buy gas, and I carried my cylinder in the car. I got to the petrol station. The guard removed the cylinder, put it down, and then the person who was coming to sell me the gas came, and immediately went to lift the gas. It was full. He said, "Mom, there's already gas here." So some of the strange things that I've experienced with the Lord, I just want to say that He is God, and when we allow Him in our lives full, we give Him authority to take care of everything. He is capable, and He will do it for you. He will do it. He has done it for me several occasions. If I start telling these stories of the things that He has done, I remember one time He told me that there was a young man in a neighboring country that required some money. And so He told me to take money, put it in an envelope, and send someone across to Tanzania to take that money to this young man. He gave me details of what bus the person was going to take, where they were going to alight, And he said when they alighted there, they would walk down and meet this man wearing black trouser and a black striped yellow shirt. And if they meet them, they'll give them that envelope. Remember, he's telling me to do this, to send somebody on a Thursday, to send somebody to arrive on a Thursday. And so I told the person that I was sending, when you meet that person, get their details, get to know who they are, what they do, and how they got to know about us. So I sent someone who went, and as they went and they were walking down that path, they met that man dressed exactly the way I described to them. And the young man said, give me my message. And the person I had sent gave the message, because the message was meant for this man. So the person I had sent asked, the person I had said asked, how did you know about us? And he was told, he said, the young man said that I was having my wedding on Saturday. I had a shortage of so much money. And last night as I went to sleep, I am not necessarily a Christian. I mean, I'm a Christian, but I'm not a church goer per se. But because of my wedding, I have a shortage in my budget. So as I was going to sleep, I said, God, if there's a God in heaven, if God, you are there and you can hear me, give me this money. Give me this money. And so he says, I went to sleep, and in my sleep, I saw a dream. And in my dream, I saw you. Dressed the way you are dressed. Now he's talking to this person. Dressed the way you are dressed. And in the dream, I said, give me my message, and you give me an envelope, which had the money that I required. And this is the envelope that you've given me. So the many experiences that I've had, one time, another experience that the Lord again told me to send again someone to a hospital still in Tanzania called Huruma, that there was a child that had been born with the hands and legs joined to the chest. And he told me that he was sending a surgeon from a country near Greece, Belarus. That's what he said, Belarus. He said, I'm going to send a surgeon to come and operate on this child. And I have told him I'm going to provide for the ticket back. And so he told me to take that money to that man. I sent someone again because I was still in employment. They went and met this doctor. This doctor who was coming, who had been sent by God. People are given instructions. Some people don't obey. When you don't obey the small instructions that God starts, he starts by giving us, small assignments. If you don't obey those small ones, you'll never see the big ones. So he told me I told this person to find out about this doctor. How did you know about this child? And this doctor said, in a dream, the Lord came to me and he told me that there's a child he wanted me to go and operate in Africa. And he said that he was going to provide for the money for the ticket back. And that's why I'm here. And so this doctor obeyed because he must have started obeying smaller assignments. Let me tell you, friends, one time, some time back, the Lord sent me a lady from the US, 63-year-old. She came to my house in Nairobi, and she came and stayed with me for 1 month. During her stay, we discussed our experiences back and forth, and I realized she was a servant of God, and God had sent her and told her, take my deposit to Kenya. But she didn't know where in Kenya and who she was going to stay with and what was going to happen. In fact, she says it, that she tells me, I told my husband that I will go, even if it means coming back in a bag, meaning that she was ready to go, even if it meant dying. She came to my house. The first day, the second day, the third day, I woke up to pray. And as I was praying, I saw her rolling a huge stone of gold, a huge, really huge stone, like the size of a usual a bedroom, like that size, a big stone. She was rolling it to me. And so I stood up. I had woken up to pray, and it was around 4 in the morning. So as she was rolling the stone, I went and received it. When I held that stone, the Lord spoke and said, "This is my anointing to you." He told me that. This gold, you will be scooping to people. When you do one scoop to someone, whatever needs they have, be it finance, be it health, whatever it is, that scoop will be enough for them and they'll be sorted out. And he showed me, he brought a spade and showed me that. Then after he said that, the Lord, he went, and the lady went back to her room. I found myself in the living room alone. So I went to sleep. Some of these come in form of visions, others come in form of dreams. So I can go on and on and on and on, because it has taken many years. I just want to share with us. I have had an opportunity of traveling to hell and heaven, and this initially started in a dream. The Lord came. He came in his white robe, and he told me, "I'd like to take you to heaven." And even as he was speaking, I knew there's the myth that if when you go to heaven you die, you have to die. So I'm like, Lord, the environment at which he was asking me this was so conducive that I could not say no. So I told him yes. And the first time I went to heaven, I went in a dream, and he took me we went and saw the beautiful place, went round and showed me the streets of, I walked on the streets of gold. And this was in a dream. Then what followed was one time after that, I was in my prayer room praying, and as I'm praying, I saw big hands emerge from the walls of the room, and they came in. They were huge, just the hands, and they lifted me, put me on his shoulders, and he told me that I want to use you. I want to use you to get my people to know about me. That there are many people who have actually not known me because they've not had an encounter. They simply hear about me like it's just a story that was told somewhere. So he told me that, and then he after that he put me down. Then another time he asked me to stand on a staple remover. A staple remover, this little thing. So I stepped on that staple remover, and the staple remover stretched, and immediately it stretched. He brought in big gold bars, and he started lifting me one after the other. He lifted me and lifted me and lifted me until finally I was in heaven. When I got to heaven, I saw God the Father seated on the throne. And I looked around. The place was beautiful. Heaven is beautiful. It's not anything that you can describe. It's not something that you can effectively describe. It has its own beauty that one cannot describe. So God asked me, "What would you like me to do for you?" And I said, "Only 3 things. To date, those things have been done, and I thank God for that." And so after I finished with him, he ushered me he was seated. He ushered me to go back. When I went to the place that the bars of gold had dropped me, I found a small elevator, small lift to fit one person. This elevator is very interesting because the walls are just a glory. There are no walls, but there's a wall. You can see there's a wall, but it's glory. If you touch through, you can put your hand through. So that small elevator took me down to my prayer room. Another time, these are some of the times that he was introducing me to taking me to heaven and to showing me the place. Another time, as I was praying, heavens they opened up a big hole, and gold was poured on me. And as the gold was it was solid, like powder kind of, but it was gold. When the gold was on me, there were angels there that passed me. One angel would pass me up to the other, like they passed me up, they passed me to heaven. And I went. When I got there, I found Jesus standing. The feet were on the ground, and I could see the holes where the nails went through. And as I was looking up, I saw him, his hands were stretched. I saw the hands, and I could see the holes. Then I looked up at the head, and on the head, I expected to see the crown of thorn that was put on Christ, but it wasn't there. There was just the glory, the glory. There was a gold ring that was going round and up, round. It was going, and then the Lord pulled me to himself. He stretched me, and I fitted in the feet, my head, and my hands, and then he removed me. Just like small him, in a smaller version, he removed me and sent me down. I was sent down in the same way that I had come. When I got down, he told me that from today, I will be with you. And there was like a flashlight that followed me, like the way somebody's acting on stage. The flashlight was on me, and he told me it was going to be like that all through my life. And so he says, everywhere I go, he is present. And to all of us born again believers, everywhere you go, the presence of the Lord is with you. And that's the reason that we should not even fear. The word of God tells us that we should not fear. So those are some of the just 1 or 2, 3 experiences that I've had with the Lord. I have major experiences with him. The many times he's taken me to heaven. But what I want to share with us is that the time that he told me that he wants to take me to hell, and I'm like, okay, Lord. He took me. We went to hell, and I've heard people talk about the smell and everything. The place we went was different. Friends, hell is a big, a huge place. Like the way you travel in a country and maybe just go to the capital city, there are other cities maybe in that country that could even be bigger than the capital city. So you cannot report of that nation that you were in and that you didn't see this because it's in another city. So I saw the huge fire. He showed me the huge fire, but he took me to a different place. Where he took me, he told me that these people here, he showed me people that were actually alive and they were in torment. He told me these are people that are captives. And I want to share with us that I know we have friends or relatives, brothers and sisters who are, they've lost sense of responsibility. Maybe it's a brother, he's even married, but he doesn't care about himself. He doesn't care about the wife and children. They're just there. He cannot take care of a job. He's given a job, and after a few months, he's out of job. Some of them are either drunkards, all sort of things. And they are such a burden to families. And I know most families have at least one person like that. These are the people that the Lord was talking about when he said that he had come to set those people. These are the people that need to be set free. Now, these people are not necessarily people who are not around us. They are around us, but they are not present. What happens? The devil takes the real person, removes the real person, and begins using them. And then the body that is left, something else is put there. And that person, that thing, whatever is put in that person, drives the person. And as the person is going around, they are who they are, and we think they are our brothers. They are not there. Your brother left a long time ago. Your sister left a long time ago. What I'm here that I would like really to share with us is that God has trained me that I'm able to help people to get those brothers back, to get that brother that is lost, to get that sister, to get that auntie. Some of, like a sister, they only get babies. They don't care. They just a baby after the other. They don't get married, and they're there. The Lord took me and trained me. And out of that training for a whole 3 years, he asked me to put that information in a book, which book now is already done, is selling online. And that book, I have a copy with me. And I would like just to share with us this book. From here down this way is hell, and from here up to this part is earth. From here is heaven, and this is a river of blood. The river of blood is a huge, huge river. Unless, some of these things, unless somebody sees them, you cannot begin to imagine. So what the Lord showed me is that from the ground, there are 12, from here there are 12 basements, floors, where people are locked up. And in my book, I've explained what happens in these places. And I just want to share about the first basement, the first time I went there. The first time he took me, he's telling me there's this girl now, one of my house girls, she's under an attack, and the demons are fighting her. She's being fought. She used to be fought. We will not even keep anything. We will not keep detergent, if it's Jik or paraffin. She'll just drink and throw the bottles to me. I remember one time as I was trying to cast out these demons, she ran in the kitchen and came with a kitchen knife and told me, someone is going to die here. Someone is going to die. And we fought and fought until eventually the knife dropped. Now, the first time I went, the Lord took me to the first basement. I went down and he showed me coffins. There's so many coffins. Friends, when somebody is dead in the physical, when someone dies, we put them in a coffin. They are also in spiritual coffins. So I went and found these coffins. The Lord showed me. The coffins were packed. I mean, they go up to the end of the world. So many of them. And so the Lord helped me to open those coffins. And I went, opened coffins. As I was opening, I would find 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. Those coffins, the devil is such a tormentor. He will frustrate people. He torments people so badly. In those coffins, you'd find a coffin I never found a coffin with one person. Every coffin, all coffins had at least 2 up to 4 people. And as I go removing, opening, in one coffin, I found my girl. The first time. So when I removed these people, she was there. And these people are like, they're like zombies. They're so frustrated, they can't even walk. They don't even know that freedom has come. They don't even know that you've come to bring them freedom. So I took that number, I took them with me. The Lord is leading. The first time he was leading me, I came with these people, and then we came and entered this tent. We came a tent. I brought these people there, and then the Lord ties them with a ribbon. This is a ribbon, a gold ribbon that he ties them on their waistline. He tied all of them with that ribbon and told me to come with them. And so we go using these stairs. On the sides are demons. This other side are demons. Every part that is black in this book are demons. And there's fire. So we went up with these people. As I'm holding them, this is the first time we got to the river of blood. And so he told me, he showed me what to do. I got them into the river of blood, washed them with the blood. Then after that, we came out and we found Jesus waiting for us. He asked me, then I paraded them. I paraded them, and Jesus came and blessed them, and the people went back to their places. Then I found myself in my living room, and my girl seated there. I asked her, I said, where were you? She told me, I was in hell. So what happened? She said, I was in a coffin. And in that coffin, there was no breathing, and we were the number that we were 3 of us. Then what happened? She tells me that the coffin suddenly opened. I saw you standing there with 2 people. Then you got me out. So she told me the whole story. Every step that I took, she saw. She saw how we went, how we walked from the coffins, and how we came to this tent, and how they were tied with a ribbon, and the stairs, the way we came up the stairs, and the blood of Jesus, and even up to the point where Jesus blessed them. And then she also told me that after that, I came home. That's why I'm here. I found that very strange. But that was just the beginning. That was one of the basements. She told me that, the pain that they go through in those and for every basement, there are 12 of them. There's one up to the 12th one. And every basement has something, very bad happening. On the first basement, they have the coffins, and people are put in those coffins. In that basement, there are also people manufacturing. There are people making the coffins. There's a whole plantation of tree plantation. There are people harvesting trees, and there are people cutting, making timber and making coffins. And these are human beings. Now, when I talk about the captives now, when the Lord talks about the captives, these people are now our brothers. This is your brother that you say, this guy is not bothered. We give him a job, we get to help him start a business, he doesn't follow through. 6 months he stops. The fellow is not present. These people are either doing the timber, they're either busy making those coffins. Some people are buried underground in those coffins. Some are under, others are on top. And the people who work on the tree plantation are beaten. In hell, there's nothing, for the devil, you can never do a good job. Anything you try, he hits you, you're beaten and beaten, you get thorough beatings. So those are some of the things that happen in the first basement. And we would stay in a basement like for, say, maybe 3 weeks or a month, depending on the intensity of these places. Some of the scriptures that can help us understand this is like Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 27, where we are told that there are chambers where you go, and when people enter that place, the woman in a woman's house was like is a way to hell. You're leading yourself to hell, because there are chambers. These chambers, all this information is in the Bible, but because we don't go into details to ask ourselves, what are these pit holes that are talked about in the Bible? What are these dark places that Psalms 107 and verse 14 talk about? That the place is dark, and you go and it's like there's a hole. These places are those places that these people are kept. Now in the second basement, and all that is in my book. I've detailed the story. I've detailed what happens. But in the second basement, people are literally locked up and chained in bars. You remember the Bible talks about the iron bars, those bars. So those are the bars that I would go and I still do that. I'll go pull them out and get the people. They are chained, and even when you tell them they can't wake up, they're so tormented. But I want you to understand the hell I'm talking about. Yes, there's the hell that there's fire, and I could, the first time he showed me hands being raised and people, burning. But this hell, people are alive. These are people that the devil is using to do his own assignment. These are the same people that he will use, those spirits. He sends them. He sends them to come, and they go to churches, and they cause commotion. They go to churches, and sometimes they get their way into the praise and worship team, and as they lead worship, the spirits, the powers of darkness get into people, so that by the time we get to the point of sharing the word, the people are already tired, or the people are sleepy, or children are crying in church. These are the spirits that sometimes are sent, and they are the ones that come and torment people. In addition to the demons, remember the demons that came down, the 1/3 that came down with Satan. Now the third, the third, that's the second basement. The third basement, it's, when I went there, it's a place that you can't even see anything because it looks like it's just a nice walls without nothing. You can't see anything until, as I was standing there, the doors started emerging from the walls. Something started growing. Now the Lord just makes these things happen because He is in charge of the whole thing. So the walls began coming out, and I realized, oh, there is a door here. So I would go in and get the people. They're also tormented, frustrated, and demons just beat them up for nothing, because when you are in hell, you're in hell. But some of the basements, like the fourth basement, I went there, and I still go there, and I find women being raped by demons. It's a very sad thing. These women cannot remain in marriage. These are the stories you hear, that people have spiritual husbands, spiritual wives, and people talk about this thing like casually. These are spiritual fights that should be fought by believers and deliver people from all those torments. We should not have people in our families that are going through these things and suffering when we have information that we can use. The fifth one, men are being sodomized by demons. When this thing happened to couples, when it happened, marriage cannot hold. The devil knows very well that if marriage stands, he will have a problem, because that is where the church begins. And so what he does, he will do everything to destroy marriage. He will do everything to destroy marriage. That is in the fifth basement. In the sixth basement, there's a huge machine. There's a huge machine that slices people, cuts people into like mincemeat and gives to demons. Demons just feast on people. They eat human flesh. It's another place, and people are just beaten. These are places that are fear. If you go there, you would even be fearful. But because I would go with the Lord and go with the angels, one of the floors that I went and really got scared is number 7, the 7th basement. The 7th basement, as you approach it, I come like I'm coming from up, going down. It's like I'm being dropped. I got to the 7th basement, and the devil had told me, these basements or floors, they only go up to the 7th one. And I had believed him, because I didn't know. I hadn't even heard anything about this. So I got to the 7th basement, and I got there. I couldn't stand because there was a hole. The back of a snake is moving. You'd think it's a floor, but I could see that something is moving, and it's a huge snake that moves around on top of these people. And friends, let me just encourage us. The devil told me, and the Lord showed me that snake, that there's the snake is, when you see a snake, is the devil. We are shown the sign of a snake. That there's a huge snake that moves around the earth. And in that snake, there are schools, there are colleges, there are universities, there are churches. People get baptized inside there. People get wedded inside there. And all those, the devil tells me, these ones are mine. You can go on making noise. They are mine. They are mine. And so, when we hear devil worship, we hear all these things, we hear churches that are not right, they operate inside that snake. It's a huge thing that moves around the earth, and people operate inside there. But for people who are born again and they've been delivered, again, I want to share with us, there's a difference between salvation and deliverance. One needs to be saved and then delivered. So it's important to just have that on clear. So I found that snake, and I was able to burn it up and get the people. People there are hanged upside down. Others are suspended. And these are the leaders, like the people who are doing very well on earth. People who are doing, they are doing very well in their businesses. They are doing very well in their places of work. And they have a lot of money. They are suspended. They are tied with chains and they are suspended. That's how they live. When you look at them, you think they are so happy. They are not happy. They are just lying to us. They are so tormented. Some of them don't even sleep. They don't sleep because they go to sleep and they are beaten up the whole night. So when you see them pretending that they are happy, they are not happy. These are people who are so frustrated. In the 8th basement, I went and found this same snake, but this time it is it's cut. It has a big cut at the back. Blood is just flowing. It's bleeding. So I burned it and got in there and found people put in. People are in containers. These containers, some of them are twisted. So you can imagine if you are in a container and then you are twisted like the way you twist a cloth, and you stay in that condition. But your spirit is taken, it's used to do the work of the devil. So those are the people now. The Lord would help me get them out. And my girl, this girl that he was using was also featuring in all these places. In the 9th basement, again, people are put in drawers. Arranged like the way you'd arrange clothes. They are in drawers and they suffocate there, they don't breathe. And it goes on. And the one of the floors, the 10th basement, there are people who are just, there are big pots of oil boiling, and people are thrown in those pots. Like one pot can hold as many as 5 people. They are thrown there. They use forks and they throw them there and put them aside. These people, all these things will happen to them and they don't die. You're thrown out and then you get your life again. One of the floors that made me really very sad is the 11th basement. I went there, I still go there, and I found demons feasting on children. They feast on babies, little ones, like up to age 2. They put them on a round table and they push their long nails and remove the heart. That's their favorite. They start with that because the heart has the blood. They start with that. And I know you've seen people act these horror movies, and you've seen demons like eating and blood all over their chest. People don't act those things because they don't know. They act because it's something they have seen. Some of them have been shown either in a dream or in a vision, whichever way that people have seen these things. So the demons would remove the hearts of the children and eat them. Just remove and eat. And so when I got there, and the Lord just caused me to burn out those, just set on fire those demons and rescue the children. That day, the first day I went to that basement, I rescued 1,000 children. As I went up, as we were going up to come to the tent, they were still coming. They came and came and came and came. There were so many, 1,000 of them. I took them to the river of blood. Of course, the same process, washed them, and then I took them to Jesus. That is a floor that you go, and it's really a very sad place to see those children, demons feasting on children. Now the 12th basement is where the devil himself resides. The day I went there the first time, I got down and I saw his mouth is like the mouth like a fish, like the design of a fish but inverted. So it's looking, the mouth was like, and on the sides snakes were growing. On the sides of the mouth, snakes were growing, coming to engulf me. I called on angels. 4 angels came, and they were trimming the snakes, and I could see the girl that was coming to rescue. I could see her inside the mouth of the snake. So as they were trimming, I was walking towards the mouth, and before I could get inside, the girl was swallowed. To date, I still remember that noise, like running rivers, brrr, and it ran. The girl was swallowed, and because the girl went to the end, to the tail, it rolled and came at the back of us. The tail now came hanging like a ball. So the angels cut it and she was out there. And immediately I'm trying to get her, a net from above came and dropped on her. Very thick net that was jelly. So anytime she tried removing her hands, she couldn't get out. But then with the angels, we were able to get her out. That was the first time I went to that, the first time. All those I'm describing are the first times. And I have been going to those places from the Lord told me, I want you to the people that I bring out, the people that I rescue, these people are the people that later eventually get back and they become okay and they get saved. And these are not people necessarily from one nation. This is the whole world, it tells me. It's the whole world. These people, once I remove them, he now blesses them and they come and they're able to mix with the people to become normal. So if you have a brother or a sister, these are people we can pray and help and get them out. And so from that time, the Lord kept on taking me with these angels, and we did this thing for 3 good years. So that's when I came up with this book with those details. After the 3 years, now he told me, this is what I want you to be doing. I want you, that's where now we get the scripture that he came to set the captives free. He said that I should be going there to rescue these people. To know that it is not normal. It is not normal that your brother went to school like you went to the same schools, you went to college together, but he's seated there drinking out. And you are busy working. And it depends on you, depends on everybody, and it's a problem to everyone else. People think, they just think these are, you are careless, you don't care about your life. And then sometimes we tell them all sort of things. I remember one time I saw, it was on TV, I saw this young man. He had taken a knife, went to a neighbor's home, and really slashed, he cut that woman, an old woman. This man killed that woman. And she was screaming, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. He killed her and turned himself to the police. And I looked at that young man, and as he was being interviewed, they were asking, why did you do this? He said, I don't know. I had such power. I felt such power. People don't understand that the devil, demons don't have bodies. So when they want to do something, when Satan wants something done, he sends his demons. And because he's so ruthless, demons must use human faculties to do what they must do. So if the devil wants someone killed, if the devil wants somebody killed, somebody to be shot, he will send a demon. And the demon will come and enter someone who goes and shoots. And then the demon comes out and goes to report, I've done it. The poor man, he's put in jail forever because of killing. But if you talk to them, they will tell you. Many a times they say, I don't know what happened. Because it's like they're there, it's like they don't know. Why did you do it? I don't know. These are the people I'm talking about. These are people who are captive. They don't know exactly what happened. Sometimes people talk about, I lost my mind. You lost your mind? I lost my mind and strangled her. Or I lost my mind and did what I did. It is not, human beings are not meant to do such things. It is the devil now who uses our people to do the things that he wants done. And the sooner we get to know, the sooner we are able to start to stop all these things happening, because we are, as believers, we are able to do the things that Jesus did. Jesus went down to hell, took the keys and brought them. By the way, he left hell open. That's why if you want to go, you just go, and there's nothing the devil can do. He gave those keys, and Jesus said in the book of John 14, verse 12, that the things I do, you will be able to do much more, because I will be with my Father. Now, if Jesus went and rescued, removed people, remember the people that came back to life? If Jesus did that, you and me, being a believer, are able to do much more, because that's what he said. So, away from my book, again, I've had a very interesting experience with the Lord. He sends me text messages, and people ask me, "You mean God knows how to text? So who taught you how to text? If it wasn't Him?" You see, sometimes we think we know more than God does. And this book that I have with me here is just a diary. I have recorded over 600 text messages from the Lord. And in these text messages, He gives me instructions. He tells me, like if I need to do something, He texts me. Because if you give me your number, supposing you give me your number, I'm able to text you, and you can text back. So if the Lord has given me His number, and I'm able to text Him, and He can text me back. So when we think that it is not possible, we need to remember that the mobiles that we have today, this year, He knows the kind of mobiles that will be there 100 years to come, when most people will not even be around. And so for us to think, to imagine that he cannot text, it's just because we've not been exposed to this. The Lord told me that He's going to expose me to things that He has not exposed to many people, because there's something that He wants to do, and He wants this information to be given to people so that they can know that God is our Father. And if we text with our fathers, we text with our brothers and our moms, then we can also text with God. People will ask me, how do you know it is Him? I know it is Him because I have His number. Because if you have my number and you text me, I will know it is from you because I have your number. The same way, I have His number. So when He texts me, I know He's the one texting me. So as we were doing this, in the process of learning all these things, the Lord asked me to buy writing material. He saw me to buy writing material. I want to be giving you messages that you can share with people. And I bought a lot of material, placed them on the table, and every time I came home, or even sometimes when I'm home, He would write messages. And I have a number of them. I have so many with me. I have samples of some of the messages that He have given me on some of these. These are some of the messages that He has given me. This one is in forgiveness, confession and forgiveness. This I was given on the in January 2006. And here I have one of the messages that He has told me He wants to be given. All these messages He wants them given to the world. And there are so many that I can do even 10 years without having to repeat any of them. This message is very, very key. It's about leadership. It's about leadership. He gave me this and told me to share with the world. But it has not been easy, because as I go to the media and ask them to give me, it's quite expensive to share. This is about many pages, but it's about leadership, and it's very, 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 very important that people get to know what is contained in this message. So I have files and files and files and files of messages talking about different things. Like, for instance, talking about salvation, the meaning of salvation, and some of those things, like salvation, what it means, and what He has actually explained to me. The examples are so clear that if you listen, you will not need to go back to that. There will be no confusion. Like, for instance, what he taught me about marriage. He said, about salvation. He said salvation is like marriage. When you go into church, you're going to get married. You come out of church. You went in alone. You come out of church, two of you. So, if you used to have to have one plate in your house, from that moment forward, you're supposed to have 2 plates or more. So when you get saved, you do not just receive an imagination. You receive someone. You may not be able to see him. You may not be able to see Christ, but you receive him. He comes in, you come home with Christ. He is there with you. Why don't people see Christ? Because they've not released themselves enough to be able to see him. I always see him. He's with me in my house. I see him in form of sometimes the glory, sometimes the light. Sometimes I see him because from the time I got saved, I came home. I mean, I have him in my house. He is present in my house, present in my house. And so when we talk about salvation, I'm just giving an example of some of the messages that he has given me. That marriage, that salvation is like marriage. And when you get saved, for those who are married, and for those who are not married, I pray that a time will come, and if you're really interested, that you get married and you be able to understand this analogy. He said, in marriage, when you get married, you cannot continue doing things the way you are doing them. You cannot continue buying some stuff from buying some food and just eating it there and coming to sleep. No, you are now 2. You require to either you buy for 2, or you prepare food for 2. So so that we don't get into those details, I am available to share now those messages in different forums, in different churches, and even to help people understand how to help our brothers get out of the mess that the devil has put them in. As you've heard, I've said I'm Apostle Elizabeth Saidimu. Just to say it again, if you'd like to get in touch with me, my mobile number is plus 254 722 305630. Let me say that again. Plus 254 722 305030. My email address is Saidimu. Saidimu is spelled SAIDIMU @yahoo.cu.uk. In Nairobi, I'm based at Agro House. Agro House is in between Development House and Gill House. We are on 2nd floor. That's where we meet on Sundays from 10. I also preach online to America, and my prayer line, or the line you can listen to me, is plus 171 277 57085. I say that again, plus 1 712 775 7085. The PIN number is 623388 hash. 623388 hash. You can, I preach on Wednesdays, Kenyan time at 10 in the night, and on Sundays at 10. It takes about say about 30 minutes thereabout. And in my sharing, I now share the messages that I've talked about that the Lord gave me. These are unique messages. Many a times you'll hear information that you've never heard, because this is it's new. Let me not say new. It's just differently formatted, because God wants us to understand things now differently, so that we stop just stagnating. So you can call me on that number. You can invite me to come and speak to you in your church. I sometimes also travel to the US. I'll be leaving on Monday the 18th. I'll be going to North Carolina, and I'll be there for 3 weeks. You can get in touch with me there on WhatsApp. Yes, so karibu sana. Even as I finish up, I would like to take an opportunity to just say a word of prayer. And for us, the viewers, if you've never received Christ, this would be a good opportunity to give your life to Jesus. It is the best thing that can happen to anyone. And I would like to just pray with you. I'll ask you to repeat this after me. Jesus, I come to you, for I am a sinner. I ask you to save me and remove my name from the book of death, write it in the book of life. From today, I will serve you. I will do your will every day of my life. Amen. Father, I thank you for the few that might have said, or for the many that might have said that prayer. And I pray that Jesus, you will be with them. You will change their ways. They will know that you are present in their environment, in everything they do. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. In Jesus' holy name we pray and believe. And to my viewers, I'd love to say goodbye and God bless you.
Yes, hema odo magimudo iwa wakaigwa ye. Tamage to igwa heidi ya gatene wegi nyoka igwa wa maka no kamya tithero ngai ariko. Iyo ni experience ya mu tugati yugo to Elizabeth na ni joni aroka huko mwena wa America ne yokorwa gicerera andu ingi muno nigetha gakorwa kimera uria mathoranite na ngai no uria ngai ya mwaragiria ona kwegie maundu ma mundu kiumbe ona megie ginya bururi witu wa Kenya. Rekei tuthi na mbere na gwitigira ngai na tuthi na mbere na kwenda ngai ni tondu ari okuna no aragia na ni aragiria aria mamwitigirite. Titagwo Jeremy Damaris kai witu murathime muno kure guothe muri kuma huko mwena wa America ona nja wa America.